Welcome to Brand Snack, where we take a 10-minute break, munch on our favorite snack, while we have bite-sized discussions with brands people crave and love. Hey, I'm at CP. I'm referring to Cruise Planners, the #1 travel agency franchise with over 3,000 franchise owners. And today, I'm hanging out with Michelle Fee. She's the CEO and founder of the company. She's gonna break it down for me and show me how it all got started. Come on. Hi everyone, today I'm excited because I'll be interviewing the most influential woman in the travel industry who leads a 3,000 franchise network by the name of Cruise Planners. Excited to have Michelle Fee on with us today.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
So as you know, with all my Brand Snack episodes, what I like to do is compare branding with your favorite snack, Michelle. So we'll talk about all those elements that kept you craving more, and then we'll compare that to Cruise Planners and how all the creative elements of your story keep people coming back for more. So Michelle, what was your favorite snack growing up?
Okay, this is going to date me, but ready? Okay, they are Mary Jane's.
Oh, wow. You're taking me back as well.
Oh yeah, these go way, way back though.
Let's go ahead and show it to the screen. We're talking about some Mary Janes today. We're going to have a lot of fun with Mary Jane.
And look at that, they're round. They're not square anymore.
I know. So I read recently that it looks like there's a new company that took over and is trying to
reinvent themselves.
Well, you know, still keep all the elements that make it special.
Yeah,
right?
those main ingredients.
So just like the twisting of it, right? The simple wrapper. What does it remind you of?
Oh, just an easier time when things in life were easy, right? And today they're complex, but we've had to evolve. Just like you said, Mary Jane's have evolved. And so we've had to evolve as well as humans and also obviously in travel.
And the flavor hasn't changed.
No, and the core elements have not changed.
People still want to have that personal touch.
And people asked me years ago, like, travel agents, do they exist anymore? And I say, we do. We just do business a little differently because we're not in every major strip shopping center anymore. But we are there, and, you know, we have 3,000 agents, like you said, that all are, we call them more virtual agents because they don't have to be tied to their desk at home anymore because we build all these tools where, you know, on any smart device, they could travel the world.
I want to unpack that a little bit more because I read on ChatGPT that you guys are like the Amazon of the travel industry. Because you were essentially a technology company.
We are. One of our founders, her husband he worked for IBM. So we literally launched with technology.
It was part of your DNA.
It was. And nobody had technology back then, home-based models. So today, we probably have the largest IT team in the home-based arena.
You know, Michelle, I have the candy stuck to my tooth. So
that's why I didn't find it.
It reminds me, you know, what is CP's sticky factor?
Okay, that's a great one. And I think the most unique part about it is where our agents, we're sending them out and saying, go travel. You can travel the world and still be connected because we build these great tools for them. You could be their client and they could be in Antarctica and you need them to book some travel for you and they've got everything they need, but yet they're actually tasting, let's say, you know, these destinations. People, I think, typically think it costs money to use a travel agent. Our commission is baked into the price. So the cruise lines are paying us and the tour companies are paying us and the hotels are paying us.
So why not use a travel agent?
And like leave it all up to us because we've been there, we've done it, we have experience.
That's very powerful. And that's really why you would want to consider a franchise opportunity. You know, going back to the analogy of the Mary Jane, such a vintage legacy, you know, this candy was created in 1914. And so everything has a history. With Cruise Planners, you have such a fascinating history and so much has evolved over time. Now you're using AI in your platform?
We are. We're leaning into AI a lot. We understand that that is the future. And how I think our job here is to say, how do we save time for our advisors? So let me give you an example where they could talk to our CRM, to talk to it. They don't even have to type it, and say, we call them Max. So, hey, Max, I have a client that wants to go to Alaska, but they want to go to Icy Straits, which is a port in Alaska. Okay. And not every cruise line goes to that particular port. So what cruise line goes there? In the past, you literally had to research that. It'd probably take you a half hour to try to figure it out. And just speaking into our tool and asking it that one question, it will spit back at you. Here's 3 cruise lines that stop in that port.
That's wonderful. And just to explain that a little bit better, it is a tool that was designed for Ski-P, right?
Yeah.
So it knows the ins and outs of the business.
It's proprietary. It's always about evolving.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we've done best.
Wonderful. And so I know that with CP Max, I think you have a mascot, which is
the
French,
Max.
the Frenchie, the French bulldog, right?
Yes. He has taken on a life of his own
with
our advisors. And they all of a sudden they wanted a stuffed Max doll. So we had to go and we had to find a company that would create these little stuffed Max dolls. And it's kind of like that Flat Stanley story where you take the Max and they travel with Max. So Max has been all over the world, and we call him our DOG, which is our Director of Globetrotting. So Max goes all over, and agents kind of hashtag CP
They're never
Max.
alone.
We have sold, I think, over 2,000 of them at this point, and all the net proceeds go to a charity.
You know, that is how you create the sticky factor, right? And your brand is like all these cute things. Cruisitude is another. Let's talk a little bit about Cruisitude, because when I heard about it the first time, you know, in my head, it was like Cruisitude, attitude.
Correct.
Right? Tell me.
That's exactly what it is. It's about having a good attitude about everything and just seeing life as a fun, good thing, you know, and to live your life that way. And so we teach our advisors that you have to spread Cruisitude.
It's the vibe. That everybody creates coming together. And, you know, I would like to take some time now, as I always do with Brand Snack, is I like to critique the logo, because the logo tells a story. Go ahead, let's pull up the logo, pull it up so we can critique it. All right, here we go. Tell me, you know, what's the story behind the logo?
I think an anchor is like stability and strength, but it also has flexibility, because an anchor can be brought up and it can move with the vessel, and then you can anchor yourself. And we feel like that's allowing our advisors to travel the world, but yet with stability and strength behind that.
And when I look at the logo, I see there's a ship, right? It feels like a ship on water, and you put the anchor down, right? Because Cruise Planners is like big and bold, and it just looks very grand. And I think that's what you built. You built a big company.
We have. Just let's go back a minute to the color. You know, most people in travel are blue. But when we started, we literally took our logo on a plain piece of paper, and then we bought a box of crayons. This is a true story. And we colored every primary color into, you know, our logo. And then we said, on the count of 3, everybody point to the one you like best. And all 3 of us went to the green. But over the years, we wanted a green that popped a little bit more. And in the industry, if you ask anyone, you know, who owns a color, nobody owns a color. This is called CP green. And I think it's, you know, it's a happy color, right?
It is. It means money.
It means money.
Success.
It means growth, like grass and greenery. It all grows.
Going back to CP and now how you have CP World, tell me about what that process was like, coming up with CP World and all the things that now people can encounter when they go there.
So that actually just came about. We would name our conference CP Conference. And a couple years ago, somebody came up with, no, we need to name the conference, and then everything else kind of has a tagline. Once you step in, you're in our world.
And I see that CP World as a destination, right? Your own destination. That you've
Totally.
created as an experience.
It is an experience, and we're known, and even all the suppliers come to us and say, your conferences are more fun than any other conference all year long. And we work hard at that because we think if you entertain somebody, they listen just a little bit harder.
Totally. And you guys are very video centric
Yes.
with your presentations. A lot of the team, your unicorns, right?
Unicorns. And we tell people we don't celebrate Employee Appreciation Day or whatever. We don't celebrate that day. We celebrate Unicorn Day. Because we say we only hire unicorns.
Cool.
One of a kind, people who are creative, people who have, deep thought process.
That translates into numbers, right? I go back to it because it is astonishing. And it's a wonderful achievement that, the franchise as a whole has generated over $1 billion.
Over $1 billion, which I pinch myself all the time because I can't believe it. We started this company and our first class had 5 people in it. And the 3 founders, we taught every class. We actually rented a little minivan, and one of the founders, Marvin, drove it around so we can go do ship inspections. And that's how we started our first class. And it has developed, thankfully, over time. But we never want to be too big where you're a number. We always want to make sure that you always feel like you're part of our family.
It's a very personalized, high-touch business, right?
It totally is.
And would you say that that is, in essence, the secret sauce?
Yeah, I think it's a lot. I think there's a combination of things. Having us behind you. You ever saw that commercial? You told 2 people and they told 2 people. And so we're behind you, that little commercial where we're walking behind. We want to make sure that, whatever you're doing, you look highly professional in what you're doing, but they don't necessarily need to know we're behind you.
That's wonderful. And I want to end it with what's next. Here we are under this amazing backdrop here. Where to next?
I just want to continue building on what's great. And I don't know that we have to make too many changes. I think AI is a big focus of ours. Again, I said we're really leaning into that because I think that could bring a lot to our advisors. And we just want to always make sure that, our advisors see value in being part of cruise planners. I mean, we have agents that who do multi-million dollars worth of business. Well, they could probably peel off and do it for themselves, but they feel there's so much value in who we are and what we bring. So that is always going to continue. And then, who knows what new ideas come up throughout the year.
Totally. And so where do you want to go next that you haven't seen yet?
Well, this year I have 2 trips already planned with our advisors. They're our top advisors, so they get to go on what we call an elite trip.
Oh, nice.
And one of them is to Tahiti.
Oh, okay.
We're going to be on a cruise ship, the Silver Seas line. And then the other one, we're going to Egypt, and we're going to be on Ama Waterways. So I'm excited about both. I have been to Tahiti before, but never to Egypt. So I always like to uncover and explore a new destination every year.
It changes you, right?
I'm telling you, travel opens your heart.
Yeah. What a wonderful business to be in. And Michelle, I want to thank you so much for taking out the time to do the brand snack with us. And you're right. There's a lot of traditional components in your business, but so many new ones and exciting things coming up.
Continue evolving. That's our motto.
Thanks again for joining.
Thank you.